From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
The stage is set for what could be the pivotal moment in the campaign leading up to the November 5th presidential election. I'm Carissa Lawson. Coming up, details on what Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are focusing on as they get ready for Tuesday night's high-stakes debate.
MTN's Megan Elaine here seeing how the community is going to be impacted by the closing of childcare connections.
I'm Megan Thompson here in Uptown Butte, and coming right up, I speak with a Southwest Montana daycare provider who has been working with this nonprofit for a decade with things like training and licensing requirements. Now the Department of Health and Human Services has awarded that contract to an online out-of-state company.
Alrighty, it is 6 o'clock on this Monday morning. Jane McDonald and Matt Elwell with you bright and early, and it's just a good time to maybe stretch out a little bit and get ready for the week ahead.
And it's going to be a good weekend or a good week to just be prepared for a little bit of everything. We have pretty tough air quality conditions right now, and I expect that to maybe even get worse here over the course of the next couple of days, at least at times. The early morning air quality readings all coming in the unhealthy range for Butte, Hamilton. Got a little better out toward West Yellowstone early this morning, but I expect the smoke to be more focused into western and southwestern Montana in particular through the next couple of days. 40s and 50s for the morning. Our rain chances are pretty slim for the next couple of days, but we do have a large frontal boundary that's going to move through and create quite the ruckus, if you will. Temperatures expected to be into the 80s today and tomorrow. As you get into the middle part of the week, we start to see these changes moving in. I'm going to talk more about what that means in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Now, Park County officials continue to search for 46-year-old Ben Hampson of Livingston. Hampson was reported missing on Tuesday the 3rd. Park County deputies and other agencies across southwest Montana continue to search for Hampson, who was last pinged by cell phone in the Belgrade area. MTN was able to speak with his kids, who described their dad as someone who always helps out others, and they remain optimistic that their dad will come home, but they're asking for the public's help with locating their dad.
I've been having people message me just saying how, he's just somebody that you see out in public and you immediately respect. He coaches some kids in Livingston, and the kids just adore him. So he's a good guy.
He really stuck his neck out to help anyone he could in any way. I know several people that he'd helped along through their own troubles in their life. And yeah, I've had the same response, through this thing.
Hampson was last seen driving a white Ford F-150. The family is offering a $2,000 reward, and anyone with any information is asked to call the Park County Sheriff's Office at 406-222-4172. And in less than 2 days, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump will be in Philadelphia, facing off on the debate stage for the first time. Harris is in Pittsburgh, preparing with a team of advisors, though she did step out for some fresh air over the weekend. Trump has been sharpening his attacks on his opponents on the campaign trail. CBS News' Carissa Lawson has more from New York.
Vice President Kamala Harris took a break from debate prep for a Sunday stroll with Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff.
Are you ready, Madam Vice President?
Ready. On Saturday, the vice president greeted shoppers at a spice store in Pittsburgh.
We're going to be fine. We are all in this together.
Yes, we are. Over the weekend, the Harris-Walz campaign also unveiled its policy webpage, outlining proposals on key issues such as the economy, crime, and immigration, just in time for Tuesday's high-stakes debate against former President Donald Trump.
Is anybody going to be watching?
While campaigning in Wisconsin Saturday, the former president hurled insults at Harris and President Joe Biden.
We have the dumbest leaders in the history of our country and the history of the world.
On social media, Trump also falsely claimed there was rampant cheating in the 2020 election and that there could be more in 2024, writing, quote, "When I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted, which will include long-term prison sentences." It prompted this rebuke from Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff on Sunday.
It's unhinged. It's anti-American. And guess what? We are not afraid.
The latest CBS News Battleground poll shows razor-thin margins between the two candidates in Wisconsin, as well as Pennsylvania and Michigan. The candidates are set to spend time in those and other key battleground states after Tuesday's highly anticipated debate. Carissa Lawson, CBS News.
And over the weekend, Vice President Harris said she was honored to have picked up the endorsement of two prominent Republicans, former Vice President Dick Cheney and his daughter, former Congresswoman Liz Cheney. On social media, former President Trump called the elder Cheney, quote, irrelevant. Now, a little bit closer to home, childcare is a challenging business, and locally, two agencies help providers navigate the requirements for state licensing. However, both the 4Cs in Butte and Childcare Connections in Bozeman are being replaced after decades of time in southwest Montana. This morning, we have team coverage of how this might affect local families and providers. So we're going to begin this morning with our Megan Elaine and Childcare Connections in Bozeman.
Childcare Connections right behind me has been open for more than 40 years. Now they're being forced to close their doors. I caught up with the childcare provider in Livingston to see how this is impacting the community.
Not having them in my corner, it's a gut punch.
Melissa Whithorn took over Little Einstein's childcare and early learning in Livingston April of this year. She says she wouldn't be where she is without Childcare Connections.
She's come down here and spent time in this building with these kids to help me figure out, oh, okay, let's try this, or let's try that, to help me troubleshoot and come up with different solutions.
The Bozeman-based nonprofit serves 6 counties around the state. The state informed Childcare Connections a few weeks ago that they were awarding the provider services contract to Shine Early Learning. According to its website, it's based in New York City. Whithorn is frustrated.
How can you make a decision that's going to take our tax dollars out of local nonprofits, send it to another state that is a for-profit?
Whithorn says most importantly, Childcare Connections helps families.
At Childcare Connection, I know that they are going to love on those families and they're going to bend over backwards to help those families.
Executive Director of Childcare Connections, Tori Sproles, attests to this.
But I am concerned about our Spanish-speaking population. That is what we see the most of lately, is our Spanish-speaking population coming in and needing help with applications and someone to sit down with them and go through that.
Sproles and her 16 employees across the state are looking for a new job. She is still concerned for her clients.
That we will be helping with a transition for up to 90 days to kind of help our clients get used to the new normal.
Sproles says she has grown a connection with families and care providers for more than 13 years.
Organization that fully supports children and families, and at the heart of what we do is making sure that children are successful, and I just hope that that continues.
In Gallatin and Park County, Megan Elaine, MTN News.
Well, no matter where you live, daycares provide an essential service for working families and for the health, safety, and development of the small children that they serve. Now, a Dillon daycare who has worked with this nonprofit for essential training and licensing requirements is voicing her concerns after an announcement from the Montana Department of Health and Human Services that contract would be sent to an out-of-state, for-profit online company.
We're not the city, we are rural Montana, and we do things a lot differently here, and we hope to keep getting that support.
Heather Larson opened her daycare 10 years ago, and the Butte 4Cs has been a crucial resource since the beginning, providing free FBI fingerprint background checks and free training that is necessary for licensure.
We have to have 16 continuing education credits a year, and the Butte 4Cs provide those free credits in person, so you don't have to take them online and interrupt your day or your night with your family.
Heather worries the New York City-based Shine Early Learning will not provide in-person services. She remembers a time when a behavior problem occurred, and the Butte 4Cs traveled to Dillon 4 times to help her remedy the situation.
If that gets outsourced to another state, those options aren't going to be available. You call anybody at the 4Cs and they jump right in and help you, and that option's just not going to be available anymore. Now we could sit in queue for 45 minutes with no help and no one to show up.
The announcement that the Butte 4Cs will no longer carry provider services is stressful.
It brings a lot of stress on in an already stressful position, and not being asked by our government. You know, we called our governor's office. They had no clue this was happening, and it's not okay. I mean, this is our tax dollars.
Butte Four Cs has 90 days to transition services. During this period, they say they will continue to serve providers. 6 individuals will lose their jobs at the Butte office. In Dillon, Megan Thompson, MTN News.
And MTN reached out to DPHHS for comment regarding childcare connections in Butte Four Cs. Here's the response. As part of our continued commitment to increasing access to high-quality, affordable childcare for hardworking Montana families, DPHHS moved from a single RFP scope of work for all CCR&R services to a model with 3 distinct contracts for business supports, provider supports, and family supports. As a result of the state's competitive procurement process, not all current CCR&R providers are guaranteed a new contract. DPHHS is working to ensure that families and childcare providers maintain statewide access to resource and referral services during this temporary transition period. And every month, we feature a child in Montana who is waiting to find their forever family as a part of our Awaiting Child program. MTN's Casey Conlon introduces us to 14-year-old Jeremiah.
In this month's Awaiting Child, we're in Anaconda to meet Jeremiah, a kid with a great sense of humor who's looking for a place to call home.
My name is Jeremiah and I am from Billings, Montana. I like reading because I just love to read. Like, I read every time before I go to bed, or like sometimes in my free time.
He is a very helpful kid. When he sees like one of the younger peers struggling, he's the first one that will help them and offer a helping hand. I think he would make a great older brother.
When Jeremiah isn't playing football with his friends, he enjoys watching movies and has recently become a big fan of anime.
I'm in the middle of reading Call Me Can't Communicate right now, and Naruto. A family is, to me, somewhere you can feel accepted. Like they don't judge for who you are or what you do or anything. They'll always, like when you're having a bad day, they'll always be by your side.
I do a lot of one-on-one talking with him. If he has any problems, him and I will sit down and talk it out. He's really fun to joke with, happy-go-lucky kid.
I never really knew my real family. I'm fine with anything, like, as long as they're caring and loving. I know there's a lot of kids out there that need families, and I hope they all get some.
In Anaconda, Casey Conlon, MTN News.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about Jeremiah, seems like just an amazing kid.
Yeah.
Any of the other kids in
It's
Montana.
one of my favorite series that we do on Montana This Morning.
Yep. I mean, so many looking for their forever home. So you can head over to our website, look up Awaiting Child. Tons of information is right on that website. All right, we're going to take a short break. But before we do, well, we're heading down to California. Unfortunately, a lot of California really on fire at the moment. But let's look at the positives. Hot weather can bring some fun at the beach, Matt. So
I see surfboards, I see dogs.
Oh my gosh, people are just hanging out, having fun, hanging 10 maybe, or maybe in the dog's
20.
case, hanging 20 if you
Yes,
count all their
this is
little
one of my
pets.
favorite things as well. This is always funny to watch dogs on surfboards.
Yeah, canine competition at its finest. Now, here they go, off to find that perfect wave. My favorite one, well, you don't want your athlete to be tired before the competition even begins.
He gets carried right in.
He's gonna walk in style to the surf. It's a pretty incredible sight. That one going backwards, man.
That's skill.
That's style points. incredible.
That's fun.
Right there. Who knows, maybe there's a canine Olympics out there. I think the USA, especially the state of California, would clean up that canine competition.
I think you're right.
For
Look at
sure.
that. That one knows how this works.
He knows that there's a camera in front of that thing too.
Gotta
He
see
knows.
the GoPro.
Oh yeah. All right, 6:14, time for a quick break here on Montana This Morning. When we come back though, top stories coming your way. Matt's gonna have a look at that forecast, and we have some special guests joining us right here on Montana This Morning. You're not gonna want to miss it when we come back.